I want to share with you my biggest mistake in crypto. If you're new here, my name is Tyrell, and over the past 4 years, I was making money. In fact, I was doing e-commerce and mentoring other people. So I was making money, I was doing drop shipping, Facebook ads, I was releasing free courses. In fact, if you take a look at the Ecom King, he was one of the people that I was working for at the time. And I was making well over $20,000 net profit every single month, which is amazing. But taking that money and going ahead to travel around the world, to invest, to have mansions, to have nice cars, to live the life that I wanted to live, I had bigger aspirations, so I had to invest. But investing, it isn't as simple. In fact, what I realized was it was exactly the same as when I started my business. When I started my business, I had to learn all over again. It was like going back to school, learning things which I never understood. Things like Facebook ads, a new language. Business was a new language, and there's failures that you make. The only difference is in business, the failures you make are kind of for free, but the failures you make in investing is always money, right? So I got so many lessons and things that I want to share with you in this video, and hopefully it means that you don't make the same mistakes as I did. So mistake number one is realizing that I'm not a genius. Right, that's one of the most important things. You see, it's so easy to make money in this crypto space. It can lead you kind of delusional. It can make you think that you are a genius investor. You know exactly what's going to happen in the market, and that this is going to go on forever. But what you realize is you're not a genius, right? You just was in at the right time, right? You make a 10x investment, you're not a savant. But if you look at the traditional markets, they go to make like 10%, 5%. Look at real estate, right? Everybody tells us to invest into real estate, but who can you show me, which you really do know, like on a personal level, who has made a 10x return on one property deal from $500 or $1,000 investment? Nobody, right? You need to have thousands of dollars to invest into property. You need to have bank statements, credit scores. You need to know how to find the right deals. It takes so much research and expertise, which is completely fine. But to make 10x in crypto, you can be just an absolute idiot, just a degenerate monkey, throw money everywhere, throw money at whatever somebody says, and then boom, you can hit a 10x. It's great, right? But the issue is that it can lead you on a path of delusion, not realizing that you still need to be a student. Einstein once says, the more I learn, I know nothing. The more I learn, I know nothing, the more I learn. And I've taken that thought process and that mindset into my investments. Now I treat everything as a complete beginner. I learn about tokenomics, I learn about technology, I learn about due diligence, I learn about different chains and how they actually work. And I actually take a lot of time to sit and learn about the projects that I'm investing into. That's allowed me to at least have some type of advantage and understanding for my investments. But when I first started, I didn't do that. I'd just throw money anywhere. I'd watch YouTube videos and buy stuff. And I'd kind of treat influencers like they needed me. I'd be like, oh, I like this guy's cause, or this guy's made me so much money. Instead of putting the power into myself and going, okay, this person's taught me a lot. These are my decisions. These are the investments which I am making, which is a very interesting thing. But if you can truly understand that, it can give you so much success in this market. And it's going to allow you to not only realize and take responsibility for your decisions, but it's also going to actually allow you to make better investments because you're not relying on anybody. If the market's pumping, you're not sat there like, oh, when is Tyrell going to make a video? What's the opinions on the market? Where is Bitcoin going to go? The truth is, nobody knows anything about that. I don't. Even venture capitalists and billionaire investors, they're not always right. So it's better for you to take other people's opinions, make your own decisions, and learn from other people as well. That's going to accelerate you not only in life, but also in terms of your business and investments as well. The next mistake that I made was not taking profits. In fact, I made so much money, but I also lost so much more money than I should have had if I just took profits. Now, there's a strategy for this. Everybody says take profits, but what I've found is there's something that works for me. And already in this market, I'm making crazy gains. I'm securing those gains, and it's allowing me to buy dips as well. I've got a diversified portfolio. I'm in private sales. I'm in launchpad tokens with guaranteed allocation. I'm in layer ones. I'm in L2s. Right? I've got such a great portfolio right now compared to what I did have last cycle. And that's simply because now I take profits when I'm 2x. When I'm 2x up, I take out my initial and I either save that or move that onto other investments. I also invest into startups and early stage projects. For example, let's say you have $100,000. Just an example, if you have less, it's all relative. But if you have $100,000, you double that. You make $200,000, you take 100 grand out. Out of that, I can go ahead, take out half of that, that's 50K, and just put 5K in 10 projects. 5K in 10 altcoin projects and forget about it. I've still got my 50 grand. I've now got $100,000 of a position open. And I've also got another 50 grand of 10 different projects, which, you know, if you look at the average return on investment for projects on launchpads that paid network, the all-time high ROI is over 20x, right? Over 20x on average at all-time high. Obviously you have vesting, so many things you have to keep an eye on. That's why I talk about that a lot on the channel. But if you have that, it's going to mean you have a full diversified portfolio. Instead of having all your eggs in one basket, yeah, you could hold that 200k and go, okay, I'm going to hold that to $1 million, right? That's one of the things I'm going to hold this to $1 million, right? And then it gets up to, you know, 500k, 600k, and all of a sudden it's down 50%, it's down to 300, down another 20%, right? It's down to like 180, and then you're just tweaking, right? You're just tweaking. You haven't actually gained much, right? You haven't gained anything. In fact, you've only gained, if you look at the stats, you've only gained like, you know, 70% more of your money. Whereas if you took profits, right, even though, yeah, it runs up to 600, it runs up to more, you would be like, oh, if I kept that, I would have had more. But you leave off the table with more investments, with more diversification, okay? Another thing that I like to do is when I take profits, I secure some IRL, right, which is real life, right? It's great to be on paper rich, but how much USDT have you got? How much Bitcoin have you got? Because right now, yeah, even dollars is great. Like having dollars, amazing, right? Everybody wants cash, but we've seen just with inflation and stuff like that, it's hard to beat it. Even at 50k, taking profits into Bitcoin is not that bad, right? It's not too bad at all, right? And it means that you can have one Bitcoin. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. It doesn't matter about how much USD value it is. We've seen that BlackRock right now are eating up the supply. And if you just simply do the maths on how much supply is being eaten every single day from people like BlackRock and Michael Saylor, eventually there will not be one Bitcoin to go around. You will not be able to afford one Bitcoin. Facts, that's it. So at least secure profits in BTC. Have a certain amount of Bitcoin and a certain amount of ETH, because eventually ETH's going to be deflationary too. They might get ETF. Now BlackRock own all the Bitcoin and all the ETH, and you're sat there with your hands on you thinking like, oh yeah, I'm glad that I'm US dollar rich, and the US dollar is inflating by too much, so you don't even have enough money to beat inflation anymore. That realistically can happen, and it will happen. So the most important thing is that when you're on the way up, even if you're diversifying into other projects, secure some BTC, secure some ETH, and secure some dollars, right? You might miss out on future gains, but that's fine, right? You've still left in a better position than when you entered the cycle. A lot of people forget where they were 3 months earlier, where they were 6 months earlier. They seem to have short-term memory, right? You're 5 times further than where you was. I've met people who had a full-time job and their portfolio was worth more than they make in a year. That is a year's worth of your time that you have made on the markets. You should pat yourself on the back. Forget about how much money other people are making. They're in a different position to you, right? They've been in the market longer. They invested more than you, right? Look at where you was and where you was before and be proud of that. Because most importantly, as long as you leave this cycle in a better position than when you entered, that is what it's about. Now, the third and final mistake that I made was over diversification. Right, I was over diversified into stocks, into savings accounts, into crypto and all the different crypto coins, and into my own businesses and different products and services that I was doing. Over diversification is one of the biggest killers to a successful portfolio without the right strategy. The reason is because A, you don't have enough money in something that pumps. If something does a 10x and you've only got $100 in it, you've only made $1,000. But realistically, if you can afford it, and if you're somebody with, you know, a $10,000 portfolio or more, right, whatever amount it is, and you think, I had the conviction in this, I could have invested because I'm in all these coins and I have to be in every coin which every person says because I'm trying to chase the gains, I'll put myself in a position where I've missed out on a 10x gain. If you had $5,000 in it, that'd be 50 grand, right? So I had the same thing. I was over diversified into all these different projects. Yeah, my stock portfolio was up 10%, but my crypto portfolio was up 20x. Right, and all I needed to do was just get rid of the stocks because there's no point in being in stocks that ain't anything crypto related. And I was in the crypto things, I could have made multi-millions of dollars so much earlier. And even in terms of crypto, I didn't look at my portfolio and actually decide what category is my portfolio in. I didn't look into market cycles and look at, okay, what stage of the market cycle we are in, and look at, okay, if the money's in Bitcoin, where does the money go next? The money goes into L1s. So why don't I have any L1s in my portfolio, right? And then by the time L1 start pumping or the YouTubers talk about it, then I buy it, then I'm too late. See, this is the thing. It's very, very important to understand the cycle of the market and be diversified. So what I like to do now is I plan ahead. That's why now I know that altcoin season is coming. In fact, it's basically already here. So I'm well deployed into launch pads, meaning I get guaranteed allocation into all the new projects that launch. And I'm going to be in all the altcoins at an early round. It's something that you can do as well. In fact, you don't even need to buy tokens to start. You can start paid network completely for free. And that's going to allow you to build a portfolio and get into projects. But it's not something which you just go all in on launch pads. It's something where you look at it and go, okay, how much of my portfolio am I willing to put into ICOs and IDOs because of the risk of them as well? And how much of my portfolio am I putting into L1s, L2s, and obviously Bitcoin? It's something which takes a little bit of strategy, and it's each to their own. But just by not being too over diversified, it's going to allow you to make ridiculous gains this market. Okay, so guys, I just wanted to share that with you, a few of my mistakes that I went on. Let me know your biggest mistake in crypto and lessons that you have learned from that as well. And I look forward to seeing all of you guys inside of the Telegram community, where you can find all the different projects and all the different plays that I'm investing into and stay up to date with this channel. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Subscribe. Peace.